everyone, welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'm sitting down with Sanaa Lathan. She's here to talk about Replay, her episode in the new Twilight Zone series, where she plays Nina, a mother whose plans to drop her son off at college are interrupted by a racist police officer. After a series of traumatic events, she realizes that the camcorder she brought to capture memories actually has the power to rewind time and recorrect the recent past. Take a look.
I need you to know something, and I need your help.
I don't expect you to believe me. I don't know if it's a problem with my mind or some kind of parallel universe, cosmic strings. I just need you to help me end it.
Life sometimes goes like you don't expect it to.
Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Please put your hands together for Sanaa Lathan. We are so pumped to have you back at Build.
Excuse me?
So pumped to have you back at Build.
I am so excited to be here. How y'all doing today?
Good. We got a full house just for you.
Oh.
So I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to
Because
be here.
I have a lot to unpack
Okay,
from this
let's do it.
episode.
Let's do it.
No, real talk. It took me on a wide range of emotions. You feel everything in this episode. I have to say, I think it's one of the breakouts of the series, just because of the social commentary and the themes tackled in it.
Absolutely.
So I want to know, for you, when you first saw the script, what was the moment where you were like, yes, put me in this?
Well, you know, even before I read the script, I was so amped because it was Twilight Zone, which I kind of grew up on, and it's like an iconic classic series. And Jordan Peele, who I'm just such a huge fan of, and is, I think, one of the most exciting filmmakers working today. And then when I read this, and I read this journey of Nina Harrison and all of the emotions that she goes through, for me as an actress, it was like, yes, because that's what I pray for. I want to be challenged. I want to be able to use all of my talent. And so I felt like finally I'm getting a role where I get to play. And then on the other side, just as a woman in this world, that we're in this modern world, you know, one of the things that I love about Jordan's work, what I loved about the original Twilight Zone, is that they are so entertaining, and yet they're putting a mirror up to human nature and to society. And police brutality, racial profiling, racism, this has been going on for forever in this country, in this world, and it deals with these issues. And so, you know, it's an important story to be told.
And I love how just simple the actual base story is. It's just a mother taking her son to college for his freshman year. It's such a simple, relatable entry point. And then what happens from there is just crazy and takes you all over the place. So I want to know, what kind of conversations did you guys have about Nina and who she is before this moment?
You know, it was so awesome to have a script where, you know, I always, when I'm reading a script, it's always like, do I feel emotionally connected? Do I feel something when I'm reading it? Is it something where I can read and turn the page and get to the end in one sitting? A lot of time you sit and you're like, okay, let me go take a break, and then, you know, you got to get back to it. I was on the edge of my seat. I cried. It was a page turner. It was over too soon. So for me, the character was all there. A wonderful writer named Selwyn Hines wrote it, and I just thought he just really developed a fully realized Black woman, mother, modern, who loves her son and who wants her son to thrive. And it was all there on the page, so there wasn't much discussion that had to go into it.
And the man who plays the police officer in this, he does his job too well, because you end up just really hating this man. But I know that you've acted with him in the past.
Yes, Glenn Fleshler plays the cop, and we did right after I got out of drama school, and he got out of drama school, he went to NYU, I went to Yale, and we did Shakespeare in the Park together. We did Measure for Measure, and I played Isabella, and I don't remember who he played. But anyway, we knew each other from years ago, and he's the sweetest person. So it was actually great to have that, you know, in between takes. She's going through such a traumatic experience with him, and he was terrifying. But in between takes, you know, we're cool.
Yeah. When I read that, that actually like warmed my heart a little bit, because the scenes you guys have are so tense and so serious and can be really sad and dark.
Yeah.
But knowing like, okay, they are acting. Because I got really caught up. I got really caught up in the story, and I think it's because there were these moments that are so true to life. Whether she's in the car with her son saying, "Okay, we've talked about this. This is how we're going to proceed."
Yep.
To kind of seeing no matter how many times they replay this scenario, no matter what she does, it's not enough to combat the societal issues.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's so true.
It's so painful.
That's the nightmare.
Yeah.
And that's the nightmare that we live in today, too, unfortunately.
So take me through what is your favorite scene, I guess, in Replay, or a moment that you really loved sort of bringing to life?
You know, I don't have a favorite scene, but I have to say it was really challenging acting it because of the back and forth with Nina and the character and the rewinding time, and because it was a quick shoot, we had to do scenes where she was in emotionally opposite places, like in one day. Like, so all the scenes in the diner, you know, she's happy, she's sad, she's terrified, she's destroyed. We had to do that like in the span of like a day. So it's like, it was almost felt like a acting exercise at times. It was really challenging, but I kind of love that. And I got to work with Damson Idris, who played my son. I'm way too young to be his mom. But no, he is so, he's such an actor's actor. Like, I had so much fun. He's English. So he's doing an American accent in this, and he has one of the best American accents. Right, and we just had so much fun. I was very lucky to be able to play with him.
Yeah, take me through your process, because what you just said is startling. You're shooting all of these scenes out of order.
Yes.
And like I mentioned, the emotions are so up and down. So
Yeah.
kind of what have you, I mean, you're obviously been in the industry for so long, you're a trained actor, but what is sort of your process for leveling back and forth like that?
You know, I just, it's so, I have a, you know, after many years of doing this, I have a toolbox. Sometimes I get coaches, sometimes I do classes. You know, I believe, and I always encourage young people to always, even once you are doing what you do, always keep learning, always keep pushing yourself, always keep growing. This particular job, I did not get an acting coach, but you know, I just connected so much to her on an empathetic, compassionate level. That, you know, her love for Dorian was it, you know. She will do whatever it takes so he can survive and thrive.
And I'm curious too, I mean, unfortunately, there are so many public cases where we have a Black mother trying to protect or grieving the loss of her son. So is that something that made it kind of easier to access those emotions? Because it's so relevant.
It is so relevant, and it's like, it's devastating, and it's really sad that we're kind of a little bit numb to it. Because it happens so much. This theme, for whatever reason, has been in my work. In the last couple of years, I did Shots Fired, where I was actually on the other side. I was, you know, law enforcement, and we were dealing with police, racial profiling and police brutality in the justice system, and so it's so institutionalized. It's been happening for so long, and there's so much that has to be done, but it needs to be done right away because people are dying.
Yeah. I think for me too, the real beautiful takeaway was the emphasis on community and family.
Yes.
Throughout the Twilight Zone episode Replay, it was a nice landing place for me.
You're so smart.
Thank
so
you.
Good. Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
whole theme was really beautiful to me because, you know, he didn't have to do that. He could have just had the whole journey of her with Dorian, but she had her own. Part of her being able to save her son and save herself was having to go back to the community that she left and kind of turned her back on. She left that community because it was too painful for her to even think about. In order for her to like lift herself up and become this woman who, you know, is successful in the world, the way that she did it was to turn her back. But she had to go back in order to, you know, lift herself out of this crisis, which I think is a beautiful message, that you have to make peace with your past and you can't forget your past or your community.
Exactly, and that community was ultimately there. Just go watch it. But
Go watch
that is the scene that gave me the biggest chills, I think, throughout it, was just that
Yeah.
scene where everybody's around, and I was like, okay, we're gonna be all right.
Yes.
But gotta
But
work
we
through
need
some
each
stuff
other.
first. Yeah, absolutely. With the idea of going back and forth through time, is that appealing to you at all? Like, if you could go back in time, would you?
You know, maybe a couple of boyfriends I would rewind over. But, you know, I think that, you know, everything that we experience, good and bad, makes us who we are. And, you know, you can't, you never know. Like, if you had took away something that was horrible in the past, you don't know, maybe it wouldn't have gotten you, maybe you'd be in a different place. So I just try to keep my eyes on the present, try not to.
Then you're gonna love my next question, because that is, you've played for me, some of the most iconic female characters, women who have just really impacted my life, and I know a lot of my friends.
I love that.
I'm interested, is there a role that you wish you could go back and just approach differently? Not that it was bad, but just that with your experience now that you would like to go take on that character again.
No, I like your shoes. Those are so cute.
They're really cute. You can have them, just take them off. And that's how we.
So cute. So, my philosophy about characters, and I really feel I love my characters when I feel like there's some kind of mysterious design as to why characters come to me in particular. Maybe not every actor feels this way, but I have seen in my past and up till now that a lot of characters will come to me that obviously I have something to give to, but I always learn so much from my character. So it's kind of like a sacred thing for me. And I feel like when I'm done with a character, I send it into the world, and it's like, it's for you guys, and do with it what you may. And I really don't look back, and I never really watch again either. Like, people are like, oh, Love and Basketball is on, TV all the time. Do you watch it? And I'm like, no. I'm like, turn that channel, turn it.
Don't worry, because we do. We watch it every single time it is on.
It's so fun. And now
Monica
it's so
Wright
funny
McCall.
how, like, the quality of the film, me and my friends always laugh. I'm like, it looks like it was shot in 1924. Like how it just looks different, the grain of the film, but
isn't that what makes it so good? Just in general, when you get to watch even like old Twilight Zone episodes, just having that grit makes it takes you back so quickly to who you were when you saw it for the first time, which is
well,
why
I don't watch it, so I wouldn't know.
Again, I'm telling
it's
you,
all here.
I could quote it from beginning to end if you want me to do that for you. On that note, I know the Twilight Zone is also, you can stream it in black and white.
Isn't that cool?
And I actually watched your episode in both.
You
And
did?
I did. I didn't get all the way through the second time with the black and white, but
was it any different?
It felt more artistic. I was a little more locked in. We don't watch things in black and white anymore.
I love it.
It's a really cool feature.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So all the Twilight Zone episodes actually you can stream in black and white or color based on whatever you want to do.
That's so cool. It's like a, throwback to the original.
Yeah, I love it. So on that note, we have a couple of questions from the audience. Okay. Who do we have first?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is MJ.
Hi,
and I
MJ.
was just wondering, what advice would you give to an inspiring actress?
I would say get in class. I am not of the, school. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I never took an acting class in my life, and then they're huge stars. But that's like such a minute, kind of freak thing that happens, even though we see it and people like to brag about it. But I really believe that acting is a craft, and to study. There's acting classes everywhere. And I'm really, I come from the theater, and I learned so much from being on stage with, a character every day and living the arc of the character from beginning to end, which is the luxury that you don't have in film, and being there live and having to deal with nerves and really confronting, like, being that you're sharing this story with an audience right there. I always encourage young actors to find a play to do, you know, and to just keep studying and approach it like, you know, you wouldn't go to a doctor who said, oh yeah, no, I just, you know, I didn't take any classes. And, you know, there's a reason why there's a lot of English imports, because they, you know, there's a little bit more respect for the craft, you know, over there. And they, you know, they take time and they study and they learn it. So.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
On the topic of theater, is that something you want to go back to anytime soon? I know you sort of bounce in between the 3 different mediums, but.
Yeah, for me, absolutely. It just has to be the right thing. It's such a huge commitment, the 8 shows a week, and generally it's, you know, a long commitment. So for me, it's just really about the right time and right part. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there a dream role on Broadway?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
I've really been very fortunate to play some really amazing roles, yeah.
Good. Next question.
Hey, my name is Elizabeth. My question is, you've done numerous amusing roles over the years, whether it's theater, television, or movies. In your opinion, which role you think deemed yourself as an amazing actress or successful actress?
Yes, I am an amazing actress.
Yeah.
Successful. God, am I there yet? No, I'm
Yes.
kidding. I don't know. I don't really, it doesn't ever feel like you've arrived. You know, there's always, it's just human nature to always want more. But definitely, I have to say let's just say it was a big, you know, personal feeling of accomplishment when I did Love and Basketball. That was like my first starring role in a you know, Hollywood movie. So that was great. Yeah.
Next question.
Hi, Sanaa.
Hi.
Your cousin Marcy is a friend of mine.
Oh.
Aichi's cousin.
Oh yeah.
She told me to tell you hello.
Oh, hi, Marcy.
So my question is, you produced Napoli Ever After, and you executive produced The Perfect Guy. Are you doing any more producing, executive producing, and are you going to be doing stuff behind the camera?
Well, yes, I am. I mean, I think it's a natural progression. I produced Napoli, you know, from, you know, beginning pretty much till end. And if you haven't seen that, that's on Netflix right now. And I have a production company that I'm starting up, and we're developing all kinds of things from TV to film. And I'll be producing stuff for myself as well as others. Yeah.
What helps you decide what projects to produce?
I think it's the same criteria for how I just decide with. It's just really if it touches me on an emotional level. And if it's something, you know, fresh and I feel like sometimes it doesn't always have to be deep and, you know, talking about, you know, political issues. It's really, it could just be sometimes just for the sake of entertainment, but it just has to move me on some kind of emotional level.
I'm interested. Last time you were here, we were talking about Napoli Ever After, and a lot of people hadn't had the opportunity to see it yet. What has the response been like from Black women?
Oh my God.
What people have reached out to you?
Well, you know, Netflix doesn't release their numbers, so I don't know numbers, but I know that it has connected on a huge level all around the world, Black women, but all women. And all, you know, it's connected in all countries. So that means so much to me because it's really about self-love and self-acceptance through the lens of a Black woman's hair. Just like Love and Basketball was a love story through the lens of basketball. So it means so much to me because it was really, you know, I shaved my head. Right. It was really a labor of love for me. So I love that people are connecting to it.
And I think we have one more question.
I just want to give a shout out first to your role in Nip Tuck because that was one of my favorite TV series.
Yes, throwback.
Yes, I remember that. And how much pressure was it, if there was any, since the Twilight Zone, the original one, was such an iconic series, doing a remake of it?
Yeah. Well, definitely. Well, the thing about this is that it's an anthology series, just like the original. So each one is like its own little movie. And so I didn't think about the pressure because the script was so good and it's Jordan Peele. So I had, I had a lot of faith. So hopefully it's living up.
Thank you.
Well, it worked out because it does live up. Like I said, I think a lot of people have already had emotional reactions to it. We'll continue to talk about it and have conversations about kind of all the themes. I mean, it really is something that I think I'm going to continue to have to like unpack for a few days.
I love that.
Yeah.
Unpack it,
Yes,
girl.
I love unpacking things, guys. It's really important these days. So if you guys want to check it out, The Twilight Zone is streaming now on CBS All Access. Also, you can stream it in black and white, don't forget. And give it up for Sanaa Lathan.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.